Thanks to all of you. That was terrific. I'm going to take the editor's prerogative and read two poems, both short. One feature that Miramar has always promoted that I thought was really good because I thought of it. Is a section in the back called Recoveries. Yay. And in there, the idea was to reprint poems that were overlooked, forgotten, lost, or to also promote recent books that probably deserved a little more attention than they received, and give them a little support. So in this issue, among many, I think there's several pieces in the recovery section, but the one I want to read is by my friend and great American poet Peter Everwine. And this is from his last book that was posthumous that Chuck Hanzlicek and I edited. That's available. It's called Pulling the Heavy But Invisible Cart from Stephen F. Austin. And this is 165 in the back. It's called From the Kitchen Window. And the dedication is in memory of Alice Zacharias. Oh, ain't it grand, she said mornings long ago, looking out her kitchen window. The wooded hills and meadows opening to the glory of first light. Rose-colored finches scuffing in the dirt. A random deer at the field's edge. But some days were born dark, and rivulets of rain furrowed the yard. The sodden goats huddled in their pen. Wooded hills and meadows were a child's scrawl. Oh, ain't it grand, she said, as if gloom had no place in her heart. It's something to love the world and know it does not love you in return. For all her country ways, she understood that woods and meadow, bird and beast were beyond the dominion of her regard. And so the sorrow of her passing was also the sorrow for a vanished world. Though even as I write these words in memory, she turns to her kitchen window. Oh, ain't it grand, she says, and yes, truly it is. The first poem in this issue is by my friend and also fellow Fresno poet Chuck Hanzlicek. And Chuck was a friend of Peter's for over 50 years. And he hasn't been writing much the last several years. We got a chapbook of 10 poems out after he retired, but not much. And Peter died a year ago, October. And Chuck came up with this little elegy just in time for the issue. Elegy for Peter Everwine. I should probably mention there's a couple Italian terms here that not everyone will know. Scopa is a card game. Most of you know what a good Barolo is. Elegy for Peter Everwine. I'm hoping that in your last moment you were lifted out of time and let gently down onto a train in Italy, chuffing through a star-driven night. Two men across from you played Scopa, But your mind was far from cards. At the depot in Piemonte, you were met by the village elders who took you to a candlelit house. Around the table, family stories unfolded, and you had a last glass of Barolo, never so sweet to the tongue. And then you threw back your head and released your final glorious guffaw. Amen.